Okay, so officially welcome, Sally.
Wow.
Thanks for your patience there. Just had the sun suddenly blaze onto my screen. The light has come, as today's lesson says. So, given you've only got half an hour, it gives us.
Ask number here is number one, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, it is number one.
Yeah. Let's go into a little meditation, shall we? Just getting comfortable, sitting with your feet shoulder width apart, back straight, cup your hands on your lap, and close your eyes. And start off by taking a nice deep breath in through the nose. So you're breathing in, noticing how the stomach rises and the chest rises, and the subtle flow of air in through the nostrils. And clench the sphincter muscle, which is the muscle used to contract the flow of urine. And squeeze the last drops out. And let's breathe in again to your heart center. So breathing in. Let's bring your attention into the present moment by focusing all your attention on the breath, subtle sensations of the breath, the heart. Feel the energy rising up your spine, into the upper chest, upper back, and all the way up through your neck, up the back of your head into the crown of your head. So pausing at the top of the inhale. And just check in and scan your mind, so noticing any thoughts, any emotions, any sensations going on. Particularly anything that feels at all negative, or limiting, contracted, constricting. You just observe those thoughts, observe the emotions, observe physical sensations. Breathe in again just to create some space, some light. If you visualize well, then just visualize some light flowing into the body, creating some space, some awareness into your mind, and a golden or white light flowing into every pore, every cell, every muscle of your body, or just a feeling of lightness. And that lightness, that spaciousness, tends to dissipate the contraction, the darkness we call it, or limited awareness. And remind yourself that the light has come, or true awareness has come. So, in choosing awakening rather than attack, say to yourself, I merely choose to recognize what is already there. Awakening is a decision made already. Attack and grievances are not there to choose. So if you notice any grievances, any attack thoughts, you breathe in. Just breathe into them and feel like they're dissipating, questioning their reality, their foundation. Reminding yourself the light has come instead. That is why I always choose between truth and illusion, between what is there and what is not. True awareness has come. light, the light has come. I can but choose the light, true awareness, for it is no alternative. It has replaced the darkness or limited awareness, and my limited awareness or darkness has gone. So with that intention, exhale. Have a sense of just blowing away darkness. And visualize if it helps you. Dark clouds just being blown away with the breeze of your breath into the nothingness that they really are. Just letting them go, breathing them out, expelling them. Pull the lower stomach into the spine. And you just rest here for a few moments. Again, scan your mind. If there's any negative thoughts, any grievances, any attack thoughts, fear, just apply these specific applications of this idea. So breathe in again. And like you're breathing in the light to every pore, every cell, every muscle of your body, every part of your mind, every fiber of your being. And as you scan your mind, still looking at a grievance, looking at anything dark or negative, remind yourself that this cannot persuade me to limit my awareness. For true awareness has come. This cannot show me darkness, for the light has come. So breathe that in. True awareness, light. Which all darkness must disappear. So again, look at the person, people involved, and say the light in you is all that I would see. And name the person. Alternatively, the true awareness in you is all that I would perceive. And then name the person. So you're looking at them truly. They have true awareness. They have pure formless awareness. It's given to them by their source, just like it was given to you by your source. And so that is their reality, nothing else. So you see that awareness in them, you must be in that awareness yourself. And then the light has come into your mind. So I would perceive in this person, this situation, only what is truly there. So breathe this higher awareness, the light in. Feel like it's just washing clean all these dark thoughts and ideas, just cleaning them out. It's like you raising yourself above the clouds into the brilliant blue sky, which is your true awareness and the light of your source that shines through it. So feel that radiance in your mind, that clearing and opening, light, spacious awareness. Visualize it, you feel it, however, just have a sense of going into it. And in this light, no darkness can continue. Clouds cannot sustain in the face of this brilliant light. So exhale and just blow them all away. Once more. Imagine they're just cloud patterns being blown away by the breeze of your breath into the nothingness. They really are. They're going, gone. So letting them all go, surrendering them all. And finding the light. It's an empty, spacious awareness. The bottom, rest here for a few moments, just appreciate it. Say the light has come. The light has come into my awareness. My true awareness has come. smile at that thought, because that is what's happening in real time right now. The light of true awareness, the light of source, the light you've been looking for forever in the dark has come into your awareness right now, not sometime in the past or future, right now. It's happening right now. So just smile, appreciate that. Now breathe in again. Nice deep breath in. Through the nose. Notice how the stomach rises and the chest rises. Subtle flow of air in through the nostrils. And you clench the sphincter muscle and you lock the energy in. Draw it up the spine into your heart center. And put one hand in your heart to connect in with your heart space. And then draw it up into the crown of your head. Just pausing at the top of the inhale. You smile. Again, just have a look inwards and look for any limiting beliefs. This second lesson is about limiting beliefs. These are the laws that we believe in. So remind yourself that I'm under no laws but God's. I'm under no laws but love's. So here is the perfect statement of my freedom. Say that to yourself. I'm under no laws but God's or love's. The perfect love's. I'm constantly tempted to make up other laws and give them power over me. I suffer only because of my belief in them. They have no real effect on me at all. I am perfectly free of the effects of all laws, save God's or perfect love's, and its are the laws of freedom. So exhale on that note and just have a sense of blowing away any limiting beliefs like dark clouds. They're leaving your awareness, blowing them away with the breeze of your breath to the nothingness they really are. And pull the lower stomach into the spine, expel the last remaining air out, and just rest here for a few moments in the peace and the stillness. And again, reflect on whatever the belief was. It could have been a belief in some form of a law. It's going to make you safe. It's going to protect you. Laws of economics and nutrition and immunization and medication and so on and so on. These are all the laws we've made up to try and make us safe, but none of them are true. So say my perception of this situation shows me I believe in laws that do not exist. But I see only the laws of God, the laws of perfect love at work in this situation. So let me allow these laws, the laws of perfect love, to work in this and not my own. And with that invitation, you're just going to surrender in for a couple of minutes of silence into a state of perfect love, pure formless awareness, where none of these laws exist. There are no false beliefs. It's just pure formless awareness shining through your mind. So sink into that. Go beyond the clouds into the light. The light has come, and because the light has come, I'm under no laws but God's, or perfect loves, and I simply rest in peace and freedom for a couple of minutes of deep silence in that spacious awareness. If any thoughts come in, you disturb this deep peace, spacious awareness. Observe them and remind yourself that the light has come. My true awareness has come, and there are no laws but God's. There are no laws but loves. So whatever's disturbing you represents your belief in a law that doesn't really exist. And look at that, smile, just how cunning the ego is, always tempting you with false laws. It's made up to replace the truth of pure formless awareness. And so you just exhale, blow that away. Imagine it's like a dark cloud just leaving you, blown away by the breeze of your breath. And all that remains is the clear blue sky of your true awareness and the light that shines through it, the light of your source. So surrender into that. Just go a little bit deeper into that deep peace and light in your mind for another minute or so of deep silence. So just gently coming back, this deep awareness into awareness of the body and the breath, the senses and the world. And on the count of 3, you're going to open your eyes. So 1, just breathing in. Notice Noticing how the stomach rises and the chest rises and the subtle flow of air in through the nostrils. Pausing at the top of the inhale. Just check in with your mind, so noticing any thoughts, any emotions there. Maybe it's just spacious awareness. If that's the case, appreciate it. Feel grateful for it. Any other thoughts, really irrelevant in this situation. Remind yourself that the light or my true awareness has come. And I'm under no laws that guides or perfect loves, so I can just let this go. Exhale. Notice how air flows out of your mouth, chest and the stomach suck back in. Feel like you're just dropping any remaining energy associated with that thought, that belief, to the nothingness it really is. The chest and the stomach subside, your energy subsiding back down, the crown of your head into the stomach, into rest in your groin area. Just count of 2, noticing the weight of your body pressing down into the chair or the sofa, feet touching the ground. Notice what you're feeling, your hands touching. Maybe there's a subtle taste in your mouth, a smell in your nose. Notice that. Notice what you're hearing. Just from the state of awareness, pure formless awareness, with no judgment, no interpretation. Just it's very peaceful underlying state. So no matter what happens, that peace remains. This is how you stay rooted in the light, rooted in your true awareness. So just notice the state. The more you notice it, the more you're anchored in to your awareness. You'll be able to continue on in this state for the rest of the day. So it is said, so it is done. On the count of 3, open your eyes. Just take a minute to look around, noticing the various objects in the room, and in the state of awareness, notice that really they're all the same. Doesn't matter what you're looking at. There's just this underlying peaceful perception, and just stay anchored in that by keeping some awareness on your breath for the rest of the session. So that brings us to the end of the meditation. So let's say hello to John, and hi John.
Hi, Jono. Hi, Sally.
I think Sally's left us. She was
Okay.
had to leave at 3:00 for a session she was doing. Iona's there somewhere, hopefully. Iona, can you hear us?
Yeah.
There we are.
Hi there. Yeah, welcome. Sally she joined pretty much on time, and she said, gee, half an hour, so I thought we'd just go into a meditation.
Very good.
Yeah. So, yeah, thanks so much for introducing her, John. Or Sue, sounds like Sue introduced her. She's really taking to it. So, always good to see when people are getting benefit. Like, oh, okay, that's why I stay up all night to do the stuff. Yeah, let's. Shall we go into today's quote and just have a little read of that? Anything to share, anyone, before we go into that? Or?
No, it feels a very good, buoyant, positive day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the light has come. It's a lovely lesson.
Yeah, it is two very good messages, actually.
Yeah. And this number, the second one, it's actually one of the most powerful lessons in the whole workbook, I think.
Yeah.
Remember the no laws but God's or loves. So we'll read the lesson, and just have a look at that.
I want to ask John.
Yeah.
Remember when I treat you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did I talk about this little fellow?
I don't think so.
Can you remember that? If I did,
I don't remember that.
No, that's okay because I don't remember. So yeah. So you need to have that. We can explain later if you want. So because it's gonna help you for. You remember what I treat you for? It's take it away. Mine is okay.
So maybe if John is interested, you could make a chance to talk.
We can talk later if you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Have a chat to John. Give him a call and talk to him about it outside of the session. Okay. So today's quote, very simple one from Rumi. Maybe Iona, if you want to read that, and then just read the first couple of paragraphs. That'll lead us nicely into the lesson.
If light is in your heart, you will find your way home. Beautiful.
Nice. It's got a nice feel to that. I love the poetry of Rumi. It's really beautiful words, just pointing you. You can almost tell he was in that state when he wrote them, because words just take you in there.
Most people think of home as being the place where they live in this world, but today's inspirational quote from a poem by the Sufi poet Rumi directs your attention inwards to your true home, which is a state of transcendent light and total love. Enlightenment is a state of mind rather than a physical place, and cannot be found by looking outside of yourself to an external world that is produced by and tends to perpetuate negative thoughts and emotions that deny the light of pure formless awareness and prevent you from experiencing the enlightened states of unconditional love, deep peace, and ecstatic joy it produces.
Okay, so any thoughts on that?
That it's an inside job, that this is home inside the mind. And if it's light, then it's glorious.
It's just this light state of being. It's an awareness, isn't it? That's been pointed to by the light. And the interesting thing is that all the mystics from every spiritual tradition, this was the Sufi tradition. It's a mystic version of Islam. But Christian mystics, the Eastern, Advaita and Buddhism and Zen Buddhism and on and on, they all have the same experience. They all really are saying the same thing, using a slightly different language sometimes. But they're saying, look, this is an inside job. You never find it outside. Every single one has said that, which must awaken you if you're listening, and you go, well, okay, that's that's what all the masters who've ever lived have said. So it must be there. They can't all be wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm right. Arrogance. I'm right, and they're all wrong. I will find it outside somewhere. It sounds ridiculous when we say it that way, but that is kind of what the ego is addicted to. It's continuously seeking outside, so that we never find the answer. Because if you look within, then you'll find it sooner or later. So its major defense mechanism is to get you to seek externally rather than internally, and look for your salvation or awakening where you'll never find it. Which you got to laugh. It's just it's crazy, but that's how it is.
Yeah.
And if you observe your light, your life, then you'll see that you've done this. We've all done it, seeking externally for some kind of solution to our imagined problems, rather than going within and finding this light of our own awareness. So that leads us quite nicely into today's quote, which today's lessons, which Let's just see if I can find my cursor. Okay, there we go. So first one, John, do you want to read the first one? The light has come.
Yep. In choosing salvation rather than attack, I merely choose to recognize what is already there. Salvation is a decision made already. Attack and grievances are not there to choose. That is why I always choose between truth and illusion, between what is there and what is not. Light has come, can but choose the light, for it has no alternative. It has replaced the darkness, and the darkness is gone.
Okay, so
we're going to
unpack that on the second reading.
In choosing awakening rather than attack.
Well, read the main idea.
Okay. True awareness has come. Choosing awakening rather than attack, I merely choose to recognize what is already there. Awakening is a decision made already. Attack and grievances are not there to choose. That is why I always choose between truth and illusion, between what is there and what is not. True awareness has come. I can but choose true awareness, for it has no alternative. It has replaced limited awareness. Limited awareness has gone.
Okay. So any thoughts on that?
Well, what he's saying here is that salvation, the light, the awakening is the only thing that is there. Attack and grievances are not actually there. They are just part of the illusion that we live through. And by choosing awareness, we enter into this. By choosing awareness, we affirm our place in it. And don't get involved in darkness or limited awareness.
It's a decision made already. So what kind of stood out for me?
Yeah, it's a decision already made, but it's also a decision that we have to constantly remake.
Yeah, that's the paradox of it. So it's kind of a done deal. The light has come because awareness, true awareness, is there. But if you continue to choose to block it, limit your awareness, then for you it won't have come. For you, you'll still be in the darkness, in the limited awareness. It's a statement of saying it has come right now. What I like about this lesson is it's so present. It's like it has come. It's a done deal. It's here now. Not the light is coming, some distant light. One day I'll become enlightened. I remember listening to Robert Holden, and he gave a talk. And part of his talk, he talked about this lesson, and he said, it really made a huge impact on him, because before he came to the course, his enlightenment was always going to be in the future. It was always coming. And then, you come across a lesson like this. The light has come right now, and it's so present. There's no, it will come. I'm seeking it one day. It's come right now into my awareness, and that seems completely, obvious that should be the case. But the way the ego set up the game is that even in our spiritual life, we become spiritual seekers. We're seeking the light, and as long as we seek for it outside of ourselves, however that seeking looks. We might be going to talks and doing meditations and retreats and exploring different paths. But until we're ready to drop in to our own awareness and say, okay, there it is. The light has come. It's in my awareness now. We don't make very much progress. We're still seeking externally, and all seeking externally is a form of mental illness, as Jesus says. So eventually, we must give up the seeking and find it within ourselves, and that's what every. Let's take the example of the Buddha as someone who came to his enlightenment. He did a lot of seeking. He was seriously into spiritual practice. He became an ascetic. He didn't eat for years. He did every meditation technique there was. He was pretty serious about this awakening job. And he realized after 7 years of that, and coming virtually to death's door because he was starving, that this wasn't the way. This wasn't actually going to work. And when he finally gave up the seeking, he just kind of dropped into it, sitting under this tree. Just came to him. It's right here, right now, and there's nothing I need to seek for. But it took him 7 years of intense seeking to come to that realization. So that's how it works. When we've had enough of the seeking and the frustration, then we're ready to accept that the light has come. Okay, so any thoughts on that?
No, it's a good one.
Yeah. The light has come. So use whichever form works better for you. The light is lovely, it's poetic. True awareness is more, into the mind. Okay, this is actually what we're talking about, is awareness. So that's why you have the alternatives. You can use either. Sometimes it's useful to use the light has come. That's a very nice pointer in your mind, and then go into the translation in the lesson, in the actual text, to kind of unpack it a bit. Okay, so 75. So let's go into the specific applications. I don't know if you want to read those.
These would prove useful forms for specific applications of this idea. This cannot show me darkness, for the light has come. The light in you is all I would see. I would see in this only what is there. Alternatively, this cannot persuade me to limit my awareness, for true awareness has come. Or the true awareness in you is all I would perceive. Or I would perceive in this only what is truly there.
Okay, so any thoughts on those specific forms?
They're very useful. It catches everything. It's a catch-all. Wow, feedback. Boy, there's some very loud feedback right now.
Really?
Yeah. Okay, that's gone.
No, that's happening.
Yeah. It's very it's all embracing. It's everywhere. I'm not limiting my awareness. I truly see you in your true awareness, and my true which comes from my true awareness. I would perceive in this only what is truly there. Everything else is false.
Yeah, so very useful pointers. The number 2 I translated, instead of this cannot show me darkness, for the light has come. This cannot persuade me to limit my awareness, because that's really what it's about, isn't it? But true awareness has come. So let me not be tempted by the evidence that the ego is showing me.
Yeah.
For its thought system. cannot persuade me to limit my awareness into that grievance or dark, limited awareness state, whatever.
I think that's good, because we can be persuaded. It is very persuasive.
Yeah.
The language is fairly mild.
Yeah.
It's persuasive to me to limit my awareness.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of seductive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It is.
she's good, or yeah, I was persuaded, but there was just something going on, and I didn't really la 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 la. And right in there's this little worm of discontent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or questioning.
So this situation cannot persuade me to limit my awareness, for true awareness has come. So right now, I have this light of my true awareness, pure formless awareness, and I will not go into that interbulated state. I will not allow my mind to think those thoughts, to feel those emotions, to get sucked in to the rabbit hole that the ego wants you to go down. Yeah. And it's trying to persuade you, isn't it? So, oh no, come here. Oh no, that's because it likes the grievance, it likes the feeling, so it wants you to kind of go into it, and it takes the vigilance to say no. When it starts, when the movement starts in your mind of the thought and the emotion pattern, because that's all it is, you've got to go no. So the beauty of these specific applications they are pattern interrupts. It's like, okay, just stop, pause, use one of these to stop the train of thought, to stop the train of emotion taking you where it's going to go.
Yeah.
And bring yourself back to no, this cannot persuade me. So this is a statement of determination. No, this cannot do this. So he's using affirmations, really. This is affirmations that are reminding you, this is what I'm holding to. So simple, really. You think, could it be this simple? But it really is. Mind training is not rocket science. It's just repeatedly. I was listening to Eckhart actually today, this morning in a talk, and he said, well, what I recommend is that you do like frequent, even for a few seconds, you just bring yourself back into awareness, into the presence. And that's exactly what this methodology is doing in using the short practice periods in these lessons. Bring yourself back into awareness using these ideas to come back into that awareness when you're tempted to go out of it. So really good. Yeah, nice lesson. Any thoughts on that?
No, it's just joyful, and
yeah, the light has come. It does have a sort of uplifting, very uplifting feel to it, doesn't it? Okay, so moving swiftly on to the next one. This is a review of lesson 76. So John, you want to have a read of the original, and then
here is the perfect state. I am under no laws but God's. Here is the perfect statement of my freedom. I am under no laws but God's. I am constantly tempted to make up other laws and give them power over me. I suffer only because of my belief in them. They have no real effect on me at all. I am perfectly free of the effects of all laws save God's, and his are the laws of freedom. Alternatively, I am under no laws but love's. Here is the perfect statement of my freedom. I am under no laws but perfect love's. I am constantly tempted to make up other laws and give them power over me. I suffer only because of my belief in them. They have no real effect on me at all. I am perfectly free of the effects of all laws save perfect love's. And it are the laws of freedom.
Okay.
That is reinforcing that
the
laws of the world don't actually really apply, but the laws that really apply to us are God's laws, the laws of love. It says, are the laws of freedom.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I've seen God's laws written down anywhere.
It was in the original lesson. He went into it. So that original lesson, he talks about various laws of nutrition and economics and
Oh yeah.
all of these false laws that we believe in.
Say what they are. Did he say what they are though?
Oh yeah, it was very specific.
What
Can I have a
they're
look?
like?
So these are the laws you think you believe in, being and very specifically, even talking about things like money, vaccines comes into it.
Yeah, they're the ones not to believe in. But what are the ones to believe in?
Well, it's the laws of love are the reinterpretation. It's the oneness that reinterprets all of this and says none of this is true. Actually, only unconditional love is true. So there's some of the things that he says not to believe in, and if the point is if you deny these and you say, okay, I'm not going to believe in these laws of whatever, medicine, economics, health, anything that seems to protect the body, by dropping our belief in them, we open the way for the laws of love, because what's left is a pure formless awareness.
So in terms of the laws of nutrition he's talked about, is that when we all have special diets and we're
we're attached to what we eat, and we think that this is gonna keep us healthy, it's gonna make us safe. Sometimes we identify with it. There's many people who are vegan or vegetarian who have a strong identity around what they eat.
I know, yeah.
Which is kind of crazy, because it's just, it's on the level of form. It's just what you're putting into the physical body. But this then becomes what they identify with, which is another, bondage in the mind. It's a belief.
It's increasingly strong, isn't it? This nutrition law. I mean, all the special diets.
Yeah.
And the hoops that we're jumping through to make sure it hasn't got this, that, and t'other in it. But that's just an identity to form and a belief in the body and the body's ability to be sick.
Yeah, exactly. And Jesus said, he said, it's not what you eat that's going to make you unclean. Because he was asked that question, well, should we obey the Jewish law and, eat only kosher food and so on? And he said, it's not what you eat that's going to make you unclean. It's what you're thinking. It's your thoughts that are going to make you unclean. So he would eat, and interesting, same with Buddha. So a lot of Buddhists and stuff are vegetarian, but the Buddha wasn't vegetarian. In fact, he died of meat poisoning.
No way.
He ate a meat dish, which was apparently very off, and I suppose in those days, medical care wasn't great, so it killed him. But the reason he did it was because he just, he was often invited to people's houses, and he had meals and stuff, and he just showed up and ate whatever was there, in gratitude. He wasn't like, the tradition was, well, you were grateful for whatever you got.
Quite so.
It wasn't like, oh, well, I'm the Buddha, I'm so special, so I'm arriving at your house and, oh no, I don't eat meat, you got to cook a special dish for me. He just showed up and and ate whatever. And similarly, I think Jesus was the same. It was like, okay, well, whatever. If there's fish on the menu, then we'll eat fish.
Yeah.
You're not identified with the form of things. And I know there's many vegetarians and vegans who would have huge issues with this, because they say, well, how can you kill things? This is wrong. But the thing is, on the level of form, everything is dying all the time. So whether you eat the fish or another fish eats the fish is gonna die anyway at some point. And so it's not going into it's not making all of that real. I think that's just the danger with that thought system. It makes it very real, and then it's another bondage of the mind into this illusion. Or, death is real. Okay, so nothing should die. Okay, well, what about, even the plant is dying. You're eating your carrot, or you're eating it. Well, okay, that has some existence, and it's now. Oh, well, that's okay. See, this is the hierarchy of illusions. That's okay because that's a vegetable, but it's not okay if I eat an animal, because an animal's somehow different. It's got a higher consciousness. So there's all kinds of hierarchies and beliefs woven into it, which of course make the dream real, don't they? So, okay, well, there's this and this, and now we have all these levels and we have all these laws. And that's what he's trying to unpack here for us.
Okay.
Say, don't believe in any of this. An illusion is an illusion is an illusion. Whether you're eating a nice tasting illusion or a foul tasting illusion, or it's supposedly animal or vegetable, in the end, it doesn't matter. It's all illusion.
So what if I kill and cook my neighbor's child?
Yeah, well, okay, that's an interesting
There's
one.
there's another element in that, Iona.
There's one.
There's another
I'd say
element
so,
in
yeah.
that one.
Well, then you're causing harm to another sentient being. So, this is where the debate. So I've talked to vegans and vegetarians, and they go, well, you shouldn't cause harm to the whatever. Let's say it's a cow that you're slaughtering. You're killing a cow or a sheep or chicken or whatever it is. But from a karmic point of view, that cow that's its karma. It would only be born. My argument is, well, this would only have a life if something is eating it. So is it better for it not to have existed at all? Because that's really what they're saying. If no one ate these animals, then they pretty much wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
There would be no life, and we're all going to die. I mean, we die. We don't necessarily die on the chopping block, but we sometimes have very painful deaths. So I'm a bit more philosophical about it. I go, well, who are you to say that shouldn't happen? The cow's having its experience like we all have, and that's its karma. To be, and then it takes away all of that judgment. Because the danger is, if you do this, you go very much into judgment of form, and it all seems terrible, and then the light is nowhere. You're not seeing the light anymore. You're seeing the darkness, and you get sucked into that.
A friend of mine used to spend time with an Indian medicine man and teacher, and they were in McDonald's one day and eating a burger. And my friend said, "Why are you eating this burger? You shouldn't be paying more attention to what you eat." He just turned around and said, "It's not what you eat that gets you, it's what eats you."
Yeah. Yeah, which is true. That doesn't mean you should stuff your face every day with McDonald's necessarily, but it's not to be bound up in the belief system. There's another guy, the Dr. Hugh Len, who was in Ho'oponopono. A similar story. So this guy called Joe Vitale went to see him because he'd heard about him, and so he's expecting, like, he goes to his seminar or whatever, and then afterwards they say, well, let's go have a chat, let's have a meal. So they go to I think it was a McDonald's or some burger joint, and Hugh Len's like tucking into a hot dog, and Joe Vitale's like, I thought you'd be into vegetarian, and he said, no, all I do is I release it. I just clean on it, because that's the whole idea, is you just release any negative thoughts and emotion around it, and then I can enjoy it without any negativity, so quite a similar one. And I think Gurdjieff was also had something to say about this issue of vegetarianism. His teacher, because I think Gurdjieff did the vegetarian thing for a while, and then his teacher said, well, the problem is that if you weaken your body, then ultimately you innovating your mind. You're not fortifying yourself for the spiritual journey. So a weak anemic body, which is often, unfortunately, what happens with these diets. If you stick to them for years. I mean, I looked at it 10 years ago or more, 15 years ago. So, okay, well, everyone's saying okay, well, let me look at it. And I did mostly vegetarian for about a year, just a bit of fish. But I spoke to maybe half a dozen people, different people at different times, who'd been vegetarian or vegan for a long time, some 15, 20 years, and they all had the same story. They went, I got to a point where my health really suffered, and I had to go to a doctor, nutritionist, dietitian, whatever, and they advised me to start eating some meat again because I was sick. My body was anemic, and they said, you're gonna, if you carry on this way, you're gonna suffer. So why would you create suffering for yourself through your diet? That doesn't make sense. That's not what this is about at all. So I abandoned the idea. I was like, okay, well, if half a dozen people have gone there, do I need to repeat the experiment or just go, no? Maybe if they'd been more careful about the protein that they ate, and then they wouldn't have. But I think it's difficult. And then also, if you're living with non-vegans and non-vegetarians, and my whole family is, suddenly you have to become very, very, very precious and special, don't you? It's like, I'm the special one, so you have to now cater for me.
Yes, I'm very aware of that specialness that comes around, or that kind of turning up the nose. Oh, what's that?
No. I'm above this.
I can't do that. My body is not tolerant. And but then I'm brought back to the text where it says, "Do not use the body lovelessly." So we need a robust body in order to make this spiritual journey. Yeah, and to drop all fear about what could happen to the shell, to the vehicle. Right.
So I just kind of went with the flow. It was like, well, what feels like more flowing? Like to bind yourself to a law of, okay, I'm only eating vegetables, or vegan, even more extreme, is it's a law, isn't it? You're saying, okay, well, I'm living by that law. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
And you're saying, well, these laws of nutrition are, these aren't true. This isn't what's going to save you. Which is kind of what the Buddha realized as well. It's saying, like, all of the ascetic practices, and he wasn't eating. He said, this isn't going to work. It's not going to save me. And he dropped it all. And then went, okay, the middle way is just find that pure formless awareness. Find the equanimity between the craving and the aversion. That's the middle way.
Right.
And don't worry about the stuff on the level of form. So if he's invited and someone gives him meat, then he eats meat, and he's just grateful for it. And that that feels much more flowing than, oh no, I'm so special. I can't possibly eat your meat because I'm somehow above. You know what I mean? That doesn't really gel with a sort of spiritual mindset of, well, yeah, I'm just present. I'm grateful, and I'll just flow with stuff.
Still, there's discernment required, because now that for instance, sugar is an active toxin for the body, and it still requires discernment. If I rocked up and somebody put down a bowl of ice cream and a plate of donuts, I'd say, I'll just drink water, thanks.
So you're not going to do anything that harms you. But if it's decent food, and it's not going to spike your blood sugar, and you're not going to like have a major crash afterwards, then eat it in gratitude, because the person's offered it in presumably a spirit of love. So it does require some discernment, and this is the dance. You say, well, there are no laws of nutrition, but there the sugar's another law, isn't it? I think what he's trying to do here is free our minds from the deep-seated belief that these things are like absolutely true. Saying, no, they're not absolutely true, right? It seems to be true on this level. On the level of form, yes, if you eat a load of sugar, you're probably going to spike your blood sugar, and you'll feel pretty awful an hour or two afterwards. That's just how it goes. But ultimately, even that doesn't matter. Ultimately, if you're at the high enough level, I'll give you a story of Ram Dass when he went into see his guru in India, and they were experimenting with LSD. So he takes all these LSD tablets, presumably the days before they did drug searches at airports. So he takes all of the stuff to the guru, and he's like, what do you think? So the guru looks at it and he says, oh, I'll have some. And so he doesn't just take one; he takes like 10. He takes the whole bottle. And Ram Dass is like, right, I really don't think you should do that. This is going to blow your head off. And he's like, okay, well, you're the guru. And he observes them, and nothing, no reaction at all. The guru is totally unaffected. He's like, whoa. And so then the guru says, when you understand that everything that you need is inside of you, it's not in the pill, then you will be enlightened. So he did it as a lesson to him. Say, look, your magic isn't really necessary, you know, and it actually has no effect if you are at that high enough level. So the guru's like, he's got control of his physiology. The chemical is just not going to affect him because he's got such mind-body control. It's like he knows the state already. It's like you don't need the chemical to take you into that state. You can go into that state just in your mind. So, you know, at that level, sugar's not going to affect someone like that. It's not even going to touch him. It's like, but that's a very, you know, for most people without that level of mind-body control, they're going to have a reaction because they just play out the biochemical reaction on this level. So it is possible to transcend all of those laws. Like a guru like that could probably take arsenic or cyanide and they would be unaffected. Right? It is possible, but for anyone listening on YouTube, don't try that at home. I'm not recommending it. It requires a high degree of mind training to be able to do that. He spent his life in meditation and practicing this and so on. If you're not trained enough, it probably will affect you.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So I think for me the key thing about this lesson is just start releasing the beliefs. You know, start questioning these beliefs and saying, okay, well, you know, maybe these aren't absolutely true. They seem to hold here, laws of nutrition, economics, you know, they're all, but actually in truth, none of them are ultimately true because only the light is true, only pure formless awareness is true. So if I can drop some of my belief in them through this lesson, then the lesson has done its work. And, you know, not be as bound into these beliefs that I didn't question before, because most people don't even question these beliefs. They just go, oh, yeah, that's true. And you know, that's it. And now I live under that law. And he's saying, okay, well, let's question all of it and get you to free your mind from it. Now, you may still have some discernment around things like what you eat and, you know, laws of economics. Okay, it's probably not necessarily a wise idea to go publish your bank account details or your credit card details on the internet. You know, these kinds of things you wouldn't do. It's not sensible. But he's talking to us at another level. He's saying, yeah, you can still have discernment after you understand that all these laws are illusion. Still have discernment, but just you don't ultimately believe in them anymore. They're just like, okay, well, yes, you know, I'm in the matrix. This is how it works. You know, there's gravity, for instance. You know, yeah, I'm probably not going to step off a 10-story building because it's going to have consequences on the level of form. You know, gravity still seems to operate as a law. Ultimately, it wouldn't really matter because, you know, if my body dies, like I'm just free of the body and my awareness is still my awareness. Ultimately, it wouldn't matter. But, you know, on this level, it's got some consequences. So maybe I don't necessarily want my body splattered on the pavement. So, you know, I won't do that. So you have some discernment. You're not stupid, but ultimately you don't allow these laws to, you know, bind your mind. I think that's the problem. So when you really believe in them and there's no questioning of that belief, then the ego's got you. And this lesson is designed to undo that binding. So any thoughts on that, John?
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear, actually.
Yeah, it's not a particularly easy lesson, this one, because of, you know, he's going up against all the laws of the world, but what he's saying does make sense. You know, you go, yeah, actually, absolutely, that does make sense. I get it. Now the job is to live, be in the world, but not of it. Don't be bound and limited by these beliefs, but at the same time have discernment. It's like don't be foolish, and go do things like, you know, do whatever. Remember, there was a movie called Yes Man. Do you remember it with Jim Carrey? Did you see it?
No.
We watched it as one of our movie evenings actually. And the whole thing is like he's just a no. He's like computer says no guy, right? He just says no, no, no. And so then he gets, his friend takes him to a seminar, personal kind of growth seminar in the US. And the guy's like, it's all about yes. It's the cult of yes. Say yes. Just say yes. So he's like, okay, well, we just say yes. So then he starts saying yes to everything. It's like, okay,
Oh, yes, I remember this.
remember it.
Yeah.
There's quite a good lesson in it, because it's
Yes.
like, okay, saying yes opens him up. It gets him out of his pattern of no, but he takes it to an extreme. He's saying yes to everything.
That's funny.
And you know, then he goes and sees the teacher who he's managed to put in a hospital, if I recall. The guy's on his hospital bed having pranked his car because this guy's been reckless or something. And he says, you know, I've just been saying, he says, yo, don't be an idiot. You know, the idea of saying yes is to get you out of your mindset of no, but have some discernment about it. You know, you can't just say yes to like, okay, well, you know, take poison. Oh yes, you know, take a toxic drug. Yes. Oh, you know, drive on the wrong side of the road. Don't be foolish about it. The point is to have some discernment and some wisdom as well. And I think that's really what this is about. You know, there are no laws but God's, but okay, you know, I'm in the world, so things like gravity and, you know, there's things that still seem to operate here. I just don't believe in them so much anymore. So if I don't believe in them, I'm not bound by them. And those laws can, as you know, we saw in the Matrix, those laws can be bent and those laws can be broken if you understand that they're not really true. And that's how miracles work. You're not bound by these laws of time and space so much anymore. But it starts with your belief in it. If you never question the belief, then you can't really free yourself from it. So that's what this lesson is about.
By a bumblebee that I need to free. So
Okay. All right. Go do your good deed. Okay. So any other thoughts on that, John?
No, that's fine. It's fine. It's good.
I suffer only because of my belief in them. Right. So he's saying just don't believe in them. And they have no real effect on me at all. So any effect on me on the level of form is not a real effect because it's happening at an illusory level. The only real effect is in my mind, and he's saying you in your mind you're totally free of these. So it's another level he's trying to take you into, beyond the level of form through this lesson. Okay, and then we'll go into the specific forms. Iona's just saving a bumblebee, so she's back.
I thought I'd seen a spider there, and I didn't want him to get trapped, but he's okay. He's a happy bumblebee.
Okay, that's good. Well done. So you want to read the specific forms?
Yeah, for specific forms and applying this idea, these would be useful. My perception of this shows me I believe in laws that do not exist. I see only the laws of God at work in this. And let me allow God's laws to work in this and not my own. Alternatively, my perception of this shows me I believe in laws that do not exist, or I perceive only the laws of perfect love at work in this. And let me allow perfect love's laws to work in this and not my own. So the latter one particularly resonates with me. To put what I think, my interpretation, laws, lay them aside and allow the perfect love laws to work through me.
And not my own. So it's an opening, saying, okay, so let me allow perfect love's laws, which is really the law of oneness. The law of oneness simply reinterprets all of it and says, you know, these other laws are not true, and only this perfect love, this pure formless awareness in your mind is true. That's the truth. So let me allow that awareness to come into whatever the situation is, and reinterpret it for me. And so, you know, if we go back to our diagram, I'll bring this up. I'll put some arrows in here now, John. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
Finally, I just did it in a session. I was like, I'm never going to get to it otherwise. So
no. I was listening to on YouTube whilst you were doing it.
Okay. So
that was the night of the 17 paragraph monster. So it just did graphic design as well.
Yeah. So really what you're doing here is you're looking at all of these laws that the ego's made up in this red scrum, the descent into hell, and you're looking at them from the awareness of oneness, and saying, let me reinterpret these and let me not be bound by these. So I let go of my belief in them as I look at the situation. And then I open my mind to experience this light or this awareness again. And that's all that's happening. It's a very simple process. Then your thoughts change, your perception changes, maybe your decisions change, your actions change, your behavior changes because of that reinterpretation. And, that's what he's trying to get us to do with this lesson and every lesson. Just reinterpret it. And now the laws that operate come from God, the laws of oneness. And those happen and play out in different ways. So an example of a law of oneness is as I give, I receive. That's a law of oneness, isn't it?
Mm.
So that's how it applies. And so that's what he's training us to see. Okay, this is how these laws play out. Laws of oneness play out in this world, how you can apply them into this world. As I give, I receive. As I forgive others, I forgive myself. These are the laws of oneness rather than the laws of the ego. And so but we have to drop the ego's laws in order to allow those, the other laws to start operating, because they contradict each other. You can't have both. I can't say, as I give, I receive, and then, I'm going to attack you. And still make sense of that, because if I'm attacking you, then I'm attacking myself. As I give, I receive, you see. And then my attack doesn't make any sense. My attack only makes sense if I believe in another law. That, actually I can attack someone else and not attack myself. So as I'm giving, I'm not receiving. Someone else is receiving, but I'm immune from that. So you start to have to become consistent. If you apply the laws of oneness, you have to become consistent with those laws, and you have to deny the laws of the ego, because they will contradict it every time. Okay, so happy with the lesson? Any thoughts, comments, questions on that?
No, happy. We've had a good discussion.
Yeah. All right.
Right.
So let's move on to the text then, shall we?
Yeah.
Because it's a 10 paragraph one, so a bit to get through. And
I have to go in 40 minutes as well.
Okay, so leave when you can. We probably won't get through all of it. I've got a hard stop at in about an hour and 50 minutes. So I've got a yoga class that I booked into. I was like, you know what, I need to move. I haven't moved for 10 days. I need to go do it. So we'll try and finish it in an hour and 40 minutes, ideally.
Okay.
I'm sure we can. It's 10 reasonably short paragraphs. So let's just find it. Crack on with it. Where are we? There we go. Read or listen to this now. Okay, so this one's called The Way to Remember God. Let me just copy and paste it into this, and we'll go. Okay. Just save it as correct one. What are we, day 53? And this is called The Way to Remember God. Okay.
I'm gonna go sleep then.
Okay. So I'll just copy and paste it, and we'll just do the translation as we go. And a way to remember God or love, I guess, would be the translation as an alternative. And I might actually just paste this into another Paste it into a clean one, I think. Just make it a bit bigger. And okay. So number one, whose turn is it? I forget.
Well, I'm going to be going first. So how about
Yeah.
I?
You go for it.
Yeah.
Just
Miracles.
maybe to speed things up, just read it and we'll translate it as we go.
Yeah. Miracles are merely the translation of denial into truth.
Okay. So what's the translation of miracles?
Oh, blimey, I can't remember.
Corrections.
Corrections. Thank you, Iona. Corrections are merely the translation of denial into truth. If to love oneself is to heal oneself, those who are sick do not love themselves. Therefore, they are asking for the love that would heal them, but which they are denying to themselves. If they knew the truth about themselves, they could not be sick. The task of the miracle worker thus becomes to deny the denial of truth. Sick must heal themselves, for the truth is in them. Having obscured it, the light in another mind must shine into theirs, because that light is theirs.
Okay, so light. You want to translate task of the correction worker. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, the task of the correction. Yeah, okay.
Does that work? We can keep miracle worker, but task of the correction. Instead
Task
of
the task of the
task of
correctioner.
Correctioner, how about the agent of correction?
Yeah.
Agent of correction?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Work for you? It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Undercover agent. So a special mission for the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
Going
Reminds me,
undercover into the ego's world to correct it.
I had a conversation on Monday. Actually, we went out to lunch with the lady who composed the piece of music for us, and
Okay.
and she was saying, "Oh yeah," she said, "my mother, she died of cancer, and my auntie, and you know, apparently it runs in the family." And I just said, "Oh well, hang on a little. You don't have to buy into that." And she didn't clock. She didn't actually clock it. She just carried on.
Yeah.
But somebody else was on the conversation, and he said later, he said, "Yeah, John, that was interesting what you said about that passing on the cancer. Yeah, it's true. You don't have to buy into it."
So it made a difference for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. It's to be the truth wherever you are, you know, and shine the light, and you never know who's going to, you know, she maybe didn't get it that time, but someone else did, and you just never know. You know, there's a seed planted. Maybe there comes a point where she goes, you know what you said that one time, John, just can we revisit that? Like what? And then, you know, you planted a little seed. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
So the sick must heal themselves, for the truth is in them. Yet having obscured it, the light in another mind must shine into theirs, because that light is theirs. Okay, so maybe light, the true awareness. Which ties in nicely with our review lesson. That light is theirs. So this is how healing works. Someone has that awareness in their mind, and by holding that awareness, and maybe they speak it as you did from that awareness, that can shine into the other person's mind. True awareness in another mind must shine into theirs. So this is how the miracles work. Someone is fixed in their belief in, say, sickness. You, as a miracle worker, or the correction, with agent of correction, come in and say, no, well, you don't have to buy into that. It's just a belief. You don't have to believe that you are condemned by your genes, because this is all body. I mean, that idea that our genes determine our destiny is totally an ego idea. So no, my body's in charge, not my mind. And this is the delusion of sort of traditional allopathic medicine. They've gone down this whole gene thing and say, oh no, it's all in the genes. But modern research shows that it actually isn't. In fact, the biochemistry of belief. You listen to Bruce Lipton. He's saying your genes are like the base material, but what unlocks the genes is your emotions, and your mind has a profound impact on emotions, which then change the biochemistry. So now your genes are going to be affected in different ways. And it's typical bias. They just went and said, okay, let's look at the genes, but they didn't look at the unlocking mechanism, what unlocks the genes to receive different chemicals. So it was a very skewed view. They only looked at half of the equation and said, okay, that's the truth, and we'll just pursue that, and ignored the other half of what actually unlocks the DNA, which is these chemicals, which are very much under mind control. If you're thinking in certain ways, that's going to produce biochemicals in your body that are going to have a profound impact on your genes. So you do have a high degree of control as to what happens to your body, just through controlling your thoughts.
I saw my urologist this morning, and he was talking about what he was going to do. Mm-hmm. And I've met him 2 or 3 times before, but today I just got a sense of confidence in him. And I was asking him why this process, not another one, and he explained why, but there was just a feeling came through to me that actually I've got confidence in this guy. I'm not going to ask any more questions because I trust him.
Yeah. Well, that's good. So
yeah.
Holy Spirit's sent you someone to help on the level of form, as he says. As long as you believe your problems are specific, the Holy Spirit can help you with specific answers. So it's actually a very practical thought system, because it can give you answers on the level of form. I think that's why Jesus said, I mentioned that situation with Bill and Helen in the early days, where he said, well, I'll send you an answer to your question about vaccines, because Bill was concerned about should he take a vaccine or not. And Jesus says, well, I'll send you the answer in the form of the head of the flu board. Gives him the answer in person. So what he was trying to show him, look, we'll give you answers on the level of form as well. This is actually very, very helpful. It's not just pure theory. It's like
I guess I'll be back in a second.
Yeah. Recording stopped. Oh, there he is.
Hi there. Sorry, I just got knocked out of Zoom for some reason. But I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, great. I'll just have to go into screen sharing mode again. Where's the cursor gone? There we go. Okay. All right. So happy to move on to number 2.
Yeah. The light in them shines as brightly, regardless of the density of the fog that obscures it. If you give no power to the fog to obscure the light, it has none. For it has the power only if the Son of God gives power to it. He must make himself withdraw that power, remembering that all power is of God. You can remember this for all of the sonship. Do not allow your brother not to remember, for his forgetfulness is yours. But what you're remembering is his, for God cannot be remembered alone. This is what you have forgotten. To perceive the healing of your brother as the healing of yourself is thus the way to remember God. For you forget your brothers with him, and God's answer to your forgetting is but the way to remember. Alternatively,
Okay. But to unpack there.
yeah, the light in them shines as brightly, regardless of the density of the fog that obscures it. So this is very much like yesterday's lesson, isn't it?
Hmm.
So see the light no matter what is appearing, no matter how thick the fog or the obfuscation came to mind just then, or the vile behavior.
Yeah. Trueness shines as brightly.
Yeah.
So it's still there, and it's your job. It's your job to see it.
Mm.
True awareness in them, shines as brightly. It's difficult to change that, so I think we'll leave it. To shines as brightly. Got a translation for that or not? True awareness. In them.
Awareness shining in them. I like it.
Yeah. Well, it's poetic, isn't it? So I think we'll leave it. True awareness shines.
Yes. You ready for two?
Yeah.
If you give no power to the fog to obscure the light, it has none. Well, for me, that's self-explanatory. It's very clear. Don't notice the fog. Don't give any cognizance. For there is none anyway. It's an illusion.
Do we want to change fog? There's no power. You give no power to the limiting beliefs, maybe? Limiting thoughts and emotions.
I think that's helpful. I was deep in the visual fog and light, but let's.
Yeah, well, it's he's using imagery, isn't he? Which is lovely and poetic. But actually, what the fog is limiting thoughts and emotions. That's what he's talking about.
Let's go with that. To obscure
the true awareness.
It has none. Okay. For it has
true awareness. Yeah, I think we'll just take out the there. For it has power.
It has no power. Oh yes, for it has power only if the remembrance, only if the extension of perfect love gives power to it. He must himself withdraw that power, remembering that all power is of perfect love.
Okay.
You can remember this for all the extension. Do not allow your companion not to remember, for his forgetfulness is yours. Your remembering is his, for perfect love cannot be remembered alone. This is what you have forgotten. To perceive the healing of your companion as the healing of yourself is thus the way to remember. pure formless awareness of perfect love. For you forgot your companions with it. And perfect love's answer to you forgetting is but the way to remember.
Okay, so you want to read it from the top?
The true awareness in them shines as brightly, regardless of the density of the limited awareness that obscures it.
Yeah, good one.
If you give no power to the limiting thoughts and emotions to obscure the true awareness, it has none. For it has power only if the extension of perfect love gives power to it.
That needs to be changed. They have none.
Oh yeah. I'll read that again. If you give no power, or if you don't give any power, if you give no power to the limiting thoughts and emotions to obscure true awareness, they have none. For it has power only if the extension of perfect love gives power to it. He must himself withdraw that power.
They have power because we've gone into plural there with them thoughts and emotions.
Of course. For they have power.
Gives power to
them. Okay. For they have power only if the extension of perfect love gives power to them. He must himself withdraw that power, remembering that all power is of perfect love. You can remember this for all the extension. Do not allow your companion not to remember, for his forgetfulness is yours. But your remembering is his for pure. Hold on 1 minute. Hello. Hello. Hang on, I'm being recorded right now.
Okay. Do you have to go, or what's happening?
Yeah, hold on.
Okay. Do you want to just mute yourself? Okay. So let's continue. John, do you want to just finish reading that from number 6? I think we were at.
Do not allow your companion not to remember, for his forgetfulness is yours. But your remembering is his, for pure formless awareness of perfect love cannot be remembered alone. This is what you have forgotten, to perceive the healing of your companion as the healing of yourself is thus the way to remember pure formless awareness of perfect love. For you forgot your companions with it, and perfect love's answer to your forgetting is but the way to remember.
I think let's take out the but. I don't know why he puts these buts in. Is the way to remember. What do you think?
Yeah.
Just makes it simpler. Is the way to remember.
So it's urging us here to be aware.
Mm-hmm.
Urging us to be aware, not to allow lack of awareness to kick around with other people. And when we help them remember, we help ourselves remember. And to see the healing of our companion is to see the healing of ourselves.
Mm.
And in the same instance, witness pure formless awareness.
Mm. So do not allow your companion not to remember. So there's an injunction there to say, well, if someone is forgetting the truth, then do not allow that. You know, speak up, say what you need to say, do what you need to do to help them remember.
Yeah.
For his forgetfulness is yours. So in a situation like, you know, you described yesterday, you know, as a miracle worker or an agent of correction, say something in that, you know, it's clearly a forgetting. The person's like believing in a false belief. Then, you know, you say something to question that, to say, well, you know, you don't have to, you know, buy into that.
Yeah.
Because then you're not allowing them to forget.
Mm-hmm.
They may choose to. I mean, you can only, you know, you can't force anyone to believe anything, but you can be the light in that situation and say, you know, speak the truth fearlessly. And too often people are like, oh, you know, what will people think? And so they don't question the ego because, like, well, that's the default thought system, and someone might take offense. And he's saying, you know, don't allow that. If someone's forgetting, then don't allow them not to remember. You know, be the light. Okay, so happy with number 2?
Yep.
All right, so moving swiftly on to number 3. If you read the, no, let's go straight into translation.
I'll be back in a few seconds.
Oh, you've got to go. Okay. All right, I'm on my own then. Just oh, there we go. Owen is back. Cool. one exits, another one comes back.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Right.
read number 3. Happy with number 2. John gave a
Well,
little
I don't
summary.
know. I was talking.
Okay, well, just have a quick read of it and see if you can summarize it, just so you kind of got the key message.
Aha, we're still on the bit that I was translating. Got it.
Yeah, well, we finished it, but just read from where you were. I think you were at number 6 or something. And just confirm in your mind, like you.
It's the light in them. It's the limit. It's the right. So right, that visit was quite impactful. So I'm just gathering my thoughts. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Settle into it.
Mm.
Take a deep breath. Remind yourself the light has come. It's still there. Doesn't matter what was said.
Or how it appears at my door.
How it appears.
Yeah. Okay.
The light has come. And then just let go of the whatever it was.
Good. Right. Limiting thoughts have no power. Yes, perfect.
Yeah.
No power.
No power.
No power. Excellent.
Yes, so you want to read number?
Kelly has power if I give her power. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I must withdraw that power that I've just given away, remembering that all power is perfect love. Yes.
Yeah.
And I remember that for everybody, for me and for everyone. My forgetfulness is his, and it's yes.
And what a perfect demonstration. Read from number 6. You just had it real time. Read it.
In real time.
Yeah. Do not allow your...
do not allow my companion to remember, for his forgetfulness is mine. Yes. Okay, so I'm holding that in me.
And I just reminded you. So you're like, okay. I'm like, okay, so just reminder, you know, the light has come. Yes. Apply it to the situation. So this is how we help each other. Do not allow your companion not to remember.
Yeah.
Remind them, you know, in a situation, if you can, that, you know, this is the truth.
Got it.
Yeah. Lovely demonstration of the lesson, of the text.
This is what I have temporarily forgotten. So Healing my companion is the healing of myself and the way of remembering pure formless awareness, love.
Yeah.
You forgot your companions with it, and perfect love's answer to your forgetting is the way to remember this. The answer is for me to remember it in myself.
Yeah. So if you can stay rooted in the light, in this awareness, no matter what, and then you speak and you act from that awareness, then you become the agent of correction in the world, don't you? So you're like, no, that I'm holding that awareness. I'm not swayed into the ego's thought system.
Yeah.
And I'm holding the light, and then I speak it and I act it.
Yeah.
And then I inspire others to remember the truth too.
Yeah.
And that's our only job.
Yeah.
Pretty simple, really.
Okay.
one thing you got to do, but it's to remember yourself, not to be pulled in to the, because the ego is always tempting, isn't it? It's like pinging you. Oh, ping. Okay, there's a little bit more limitation, darkness, and it shows up in your awareness. And then these lessons are that no, don't go there. Let this not persuade me. This is a nice one. So this where are we? This translation I did is particularly appropriate. This cannot persuade me. Maybe read that.
Oh yeah.
This cannot persuade me. I'm going to read number 2 of.
This cannot persuade me to limit my awareness, for true awareness has come.
So I'm not going to allow this to pull me into the limited awareness that it's trying to.
Yeah, which is limited. So fear, attack, darkness. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm vigilant for that. I'm not gonna take the bait, because the ego is trying to bait you. Say, oh, okay, so you think the light has come? All right. Well, let's see. Let's give you a little visitation of someone who's going to bring in some darkness.
That's right. Just appeared at the door. Hello.
And try and tempt you. And tempt you out of, it's very interesting how it happens. And it's happening real time, all the time.
All the time.
So
okay.
it's just you need to be vigilant, which is what these lessons are doing. It's the vigilance of, let's just go back to the correct one. Okay. All right. So happy with number 2. I think you gave a little summary there. As I see others, so I see myself. So my responsibility is to help them remember, and then I remember myself.
Yeah.
So number 3.
Perceive in, or is it John's turn? Or my turn?
Yeah.
Well, you kind of split the last one. But let's have John. Let's let John have a go.
I'll do a bit. Perceive in sickness, but another call. Perceive in sickness, but another call for love. Perceive in sickness, but another call for love. And offer your brother what he believes he cannot offer himself. Whatever the sickness, there is but one remedy. You'll be made whole as you make whole. For to perceive in sickness the appeal for health is to recognize in hatred the call for love. And to give a brother what he really wants is to offer it unto yourself. For your father, your source, wills you to know your brother, your companion, as yourself. Answer its call for love, and yours is answered. Healing is the love of perfect oneness for its source and for itself.
So Christ is remember?
Perfect oneness.
It's the self. It's the one self.
Oh, the one self. That's it. Yeah.
One self for its source. and for itself. Okay, so you want to give a just read that through again. Make sure we got the translations good, and then give a little summary.
Save in sickness, but another call for love, and offer your brother what he believes he cannot offer himself. Whatever the sickness, there is but one remedy. You will be made whole as you make whole. Or to perceive in sickness the appeal for health is to recognize in hatred the call for love. And to give a brother what he really wants is to offer it unto yourself, for your source wills you to know your as yourself. Answer his call for love, and yours is answered. Healing is the love of the one self for its source and. So he's encouraging us here to retranslate anything that's going on that might appear to be negative and reformulate it in love for our brother, for our companion when she cannot do so, and we heal ourselves by so doing. Because by addressing his call for love, ours is answered.
And so really we loving God. Healing of the love is the love of the one self. This true identity for its source. I might say it's not the one self. What do you think? Healing is the love of our true identity for its source and for itself.
Yeah.
That works. That works.
Yeah.
Okay, so happy with number 3?
Yeah.
Good. So Iona, number 4.
Remember what was said about the frightening perceptions of little children, which terrify them because they do not understand them. So we stayed with little children, didn't we?
Yeah, so we'll keep that because he's referring to his previous analogy to little children.
Yep. If they ask for enlightenment and accept it, their fears vanish. But if they hide their nightmares, they will keep them. It is easy to help an uncertain child, for he recognizes that he does not understand what his perceptions mean. Yet you believe that you do understand yours. Little child, you are hiding your head under the cover of the heavy blankets you have laid upon yourself. You are hiding your nightmares in the darkness of your own false certainty and refusing to open your eyes and look at them.
Okay, so I'm going to translate any of that.
Well, darkness.
Mostly translated. Darkness. Yeah. Maybe enlightenment, awakening.
Yeah.
Do you think it's an enlightenment is if
they ask for awakening and accept it, their fears vanish.
Is that more meaningful than enlightenment?
If they ask for enlightenment and accept it, their fears vanish.
Keep the original or change it?
Enlightenment is a similar stem, isn't it? It's talking about the light, enlightenment, lightness, nightmares. Yeah, I think keep it actually.
Okay, keep that one. Kind of goes with the
whole nightmares and the sleeping and awakening. Yeah.
Hiding your cover under heady blankets. You're hiding your nightmares in the limited awareness.
Of your own false certainty and refusing to open your eyes and look at them.
That's interesting. So your own false certainty. Yes, I know what I'm doing. my perception, my judgments make sense.
Yeah.
That's the limited awareness.
Yeah.
Your own false certainty.
Yeah.
Trying to make you safe. You're saying, no, this is how it is, and just believe it. John?
Yeah, I'm just I'm going to have to go. So thanks, Jono. Thanks, Iona.
Yeah,
Okay.
thanks for joining us, and hopefully see you tomorrow.
Yeah, it should be there tomorrow, I think. Yeah.
Tomorrow afternoon. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Cheers for now.
Namaste.
Cheers, John.
Bye.
Bye. It's so.
Okay.
It's so.
You want to give us a little summary of that?
Yeah. We are as of the little children who are in a nightmare and not understanding them. But if I ask for enlightenment and accept it, my fears vanish. But if I get to keep my nightmares unless I ask. Yeah.
A limited awareness of your own false certainty. So it comes back to that fundamental perceptual problem. We have to acknowledge that we have a fundamental perceptual problem.
Yeah.
If we don't say, yeah, actually, I don't really perceive truly anything, and I don't know what I'm doing, then I continue to believe in my nightmares, in my interpretation of the situation, and it's a nightmare. And there's no enlightenment there. It's just darkness. Okay, so happy with number 4? So I only just gone to do something.
Hi.
All right, back. So happy with number 4?
Yeah.
All right, so moving swiftly on to number 5. We're doing quite well today, actually, in terms of time.
Let us not save nightmares, for they are not fitting offerings for oneself, true self. And so they are not fit gifts for you.
For
my
your true self, shall we say?
Take off the covers and look at what you're afraid of. Oh, that's such good advice. Only the anticipation will frighten you, for the reality of nothingness cannot be frightening. What about the awareness of nothingness? No, the reality is fine.
Yeah. The reality of nothingness cannot be frightening, because the reality of nothingness is that it's nothing.
Yeah.
So if you see it as nothing, it cannot possibly frighten you.
Yeah.
Only the anticipation. What will I find there? And so it's a bit like the Wizard of Oz story. They went going looking for the wizard, and then eventually they take they look behind the curtain and they see this old man who's actually not very frightening at all. He's just an old man pretending to be a powerful wizard. That's the idea.
Let us not delay this, for your dream of hatred will not lead. Let us not delay this, for your dream of hatred will not leave you without help, and help is here. Learn to be quiet in the midst of turmoil, for quietness is the end of strife, and this is the journey to peace. Look straight at every image that rises to delay you, for the goal is inevitable because it is eternal. The goal of love is but your right, and it belongs to you despite your dreams.
I don't think that needs any translation, actually.
No.
We just translated the true self. That's the one translation. The rest doesn't. Okay, so any thoughts on that? We'll give a little summary.
I think it's talking about the fear of the idea of letting go so much. If I let go all my ego, my darkness, my fears, what's left? And he said it's nothing. There's nothing there.
So just be willing to look.
Have the courage
Look upon the nothingness, and then you will see. And so this is the courage. Talked about the level of shift. When you start transforming, is courage. Say, okay, yeah, I need to let me look on my darkness, and not suppress it and repress it and distract myself. And let me actually go in there and look, and then I will see that it's not really frightening. It's just a crazy belief that I've believed in, and that actually makes no sense at all. So why am I frightened by my own beliefs? Because that's all that's really happening. But we must look, and the theme of this is take the covers off and really look under the hood of this ego thought system, bring it into the light of conscious awareness, and then you see that it's not really frightening, that it's actually a bit ridiculous, and you laugh, which is why the Zen says enlightenment is a joke. Because when you really get it, you got to just laugh. It's like, oh my goodness, what a trick, what a joke I've just played upon myself for years and years, believing in this when actually none of it's true. Anything else in the paragraph?
No, I agree with you about it's the courage to look within, this way to remember pure formless awareness. Okay.
And only anticipation will frighten you. So the ego is like, oh, don't look there. Don't look in Pandora's box because it's scary and all these emotions that we don't want to face. But if you actually just say, okay, I'm going in there, and I'm just gonna be present, and I'm just gonna look at them, and you allow whatever to arise. So okay, so if it's fear arising, it's anxiety, it's depression, it's hatred, it's anger, and you just sit with it, it's going to dissipate, isn't it? And so you sit on your sofa and you just, okay, you allow it to come up, and it's not going to kill you, is it? It's just a temporary arising. It's a state, and it can feel, difficult and challenging and overwhelming at the time, but okay, just sit with it and let it pass through. And, so that's what you're doing with this process. Whenever you sit with the cause, you're inviting this darkness to come up, and just then you sit with it, and you're like, okay, I'm not scared of it, and it will dissipate with this light that you're bringing in of your true awareness. It has to dissipate. And then you've just released it, haven't you? You've released another part of that egoic thought system, and you do feel it, I think. And at the end of the sessions, you go, okay, that's some kind of a release that's happened. I can't necessarily explain what's happened, but I feel different, don't I?
It's very wonderful, because this is a very experiential afternoon here on the Sacred Sofa, because this line, learn to be quiet in the midst of turmoil, for quietness is the end of strife. So right now we've had fighting cats, a bumblebee, an aggressive person showing up at the door.
Yes.
And he's saying, learn to be quiet in the midst of turmoil. Thank you.
Yeah. The perfect message. And that's often how it happens. The words are just so appropriate for whatever the situation.
It so often happens. Great. Okay. I love that. The goal of love is but your right, and belongs to you despite ego's best efforts to convince you otherwise.
Yeah. It's just remembering. It's just okay. Can you hold to the remembrance of love above all else? And that's all this path is really about. Can I remember no matter what? And the enlightened ones of this world are the people who can remember no matter what. They remember, and they're not swayed. But they weren't always like that. They had to learn and practice as well. It was part of their own journey. So, the likes of Jesus and Buddha, they had their own journeys. They weren't necessarily there to start with. But through a lot of mind training and practice, they got there, and they managed to stay there, and then became the lights of the world for others, because they were so clear in that. They held that presence so clearly that people are like, wow, like I can see that this person just is not moved by the ego's thought system. And so then people are attracted to that and say, I can learn from this, because this person is so rooted in that awareness. There's something amazing there. I want it. And then, you know, they have followers and people start listening to their words because it's an uncommon awareness. When you
That's
say,
what I
you know,
want.
your fear was the ego's fear is, oh, well, I'll be, you know, some kind of a freak in society. You know, that I won't be like accepted by everyone. And well, you know, they were certainly outliers, but they were profoundly helpful to their society, to people in their time. And, you know, as a result, their legacy lives on thousands of years later. We still talk about them and the messages and so on. Well, do you want to do that, or do you just want to be one of the masses no one's ever heard of, and you actually didn't make any impact because you just believed in the, you know, the common beliefs of the time? So, you know, history shows us, look, you know, if you do hold to this higher consciousness, to the light, then your life has a meaning, and it has an eternal meaning. We will remember them forever because of what they stood for. Because what they stood for is eternal. Kind of makes sense, you know. If you stand for the eternal, then yeah, obviously that's going to be much more lasting than the ego's thoughts. So we don't remember the kings, and we don't remember the, you know, the rich people and, you know, temporary fame. We don't remember those people, but we remember the people who stood for eternal truth. So, you know, why not dedicate your life to that and say, well, I'll be remembered for standing for the eternal truth. Maybe not by everyone, because it depends on what level you're playing at. But by the people, you know, who knew me, and they remember Iona as, yes, she was someone who stood in the light, and she stood for truth no matter what. You know, it's like that's useful to remember also. Like, so what will people say about you at your funeral? That's a useful pointer. What would everyone? How would they remember you? How would they think about you? Because that's then your legacy. You know, will they remember this person as, you know, someone who really stood for the truth and was bold and courageous in that? Or will they remember you as someone who was kind of weak-willed and wishy-washy and didn't really stand for anything in their life? Just another person who's died, and, you know, there's nothing particularly significant about, you know, what you stood for. And every day you make the decision, okay, well, what am I standing for here? How will people remember me? So it's another quite a useful pointer. You know, what would the funeral image? Okay, if I was sitting at my own funeral, who would be showing up? How would people perceive me? What would they be saying? Because that's what I'm creating now. That's the legacy I'm going to leave. Okay, so happy with 5?
Yeah. You still
Number
want
6?
You still want what God wills, and no nightmare can defeat a child of God in his purpose. You still want what perfect love wills.
Perfect. Sorry. Could actually switch it around. Perfect love of pure formless awareness.
Yes.
Could also work. Pure formless awareness of perfect love. Okay, and you're happy with wills. We haven't kind of come up with a better intends, I suppose you could say. But I'm not sure that's necessarily better. So we leave it as wills.
I like the strength of it.
Yeah, wills has a stronger, you know, a stronger feel to it than intends, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Intends, pure formless awareness doesn't really intend. Again, not that it wills either, but, you know, I don't have another word. We'd like a verb for awareness, but there isn't one. Really, you know, you know what I mean. I will. I'm a wearing. Perfect love is a wearing, but that's not a. There's no such word. So we'll leave it as wills.
No nightmare can defeat an extension of pure formless awareness. In his purpose. For your purpose was given you by pure formless awareness, and you must accomplish it because it is his will. Its will.
Yeah, we could change that to awareness, maybe. So it's awareness. I think we've done that in the past.
Yeah. Okay. Awake and remember.
That's a noun. So then we can substitute awareness for will.
Yeah. Awake and remember your purpose, because for it is your will to do so. Yes.
Yeah. Should we leave will there?
Yeah, I believe so.
Awareness. It's your awareness to do so, but it's not as strong. So
it's not as strong.
as well.
What has been accomplished for you must be yours. Do not let your hatred stand in the way of love, for nothing can withstand the love of true self for its source.
The one self. I think that works there.
Yeah.
That's source.
Yeah. Or the love of the source for him.
Source's love for him. Or should we change that to the love of the source for him? What do you think?
Source's love for him is shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Source's love for it. Okay, I'm going to read that from the top.
You still want what pure formless awareness of perfect love wills, and no nightmare can defeat an extension of pure formless awareness in his purpose. For your purpose was given you by pure formless awareness of perfect love, and you must accomplish it because it is its awareness. Awake and remember your purpose, for it is your will to do so. What has been accomplished for you must be yours. Do not let your hatred stand in the way of love, for nothing can withstand the love of the one self for its source, or its source's love for it. Yeah. No nightmare. No, ego is nothing. It can't withstand or defeat me, because I was given my purpose by pure formless awareness, and I must accomplish it because it is within me. It's my purpose. It's my will to do so. It's been accomplished for me, so it must be mine. It is mine. And don't let my hatred stand in the way of love. Nothing can withstand the love of oneself.
For its source.
For its source. Source's love for it.
Yeah. So it's that self, that higher self concept. I am one self, and my brothers are the same self. That unites you with pure formless awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you only believe that, then pure formless awareness, which is God, must be yours.
Yeah.
So that's how Christ delivers you unto God.
Yeah.
To take that quite high, metaphysical language. You've probably, from your Christian upbringing, Christ delivers you unto God. Well, what does that actually mean? It means by believing only in the one self and seeing only the one self everywhere, that everyone is that, you are it, they are it. That takes your mind into the state of pure formless awareness, ultimately merging into that state. And the idea of a one self doesn't even exist in pure formless awareness. There's not even a concept. There's no self concept. It just is. It's a state of pure formless awareness. That's all that it is.
I see it. Yeah.
But it's useful to have these, it's like the stepping stones. The remembrance of oneness as the Holy Spirit, the one self, that I can identify with here and say, okay, I am that one self, and you are that one self. Therefore, we must be one. That takes your mind back into the state of oneness, which will ultimately lead to its merging into the state of pure formless awareness.
Yeah.
Keep practicing it. So if you understand, if we translate the meaning of these words, then it becomes pretty useful. It's a useful thought system to help us to do this, while we still think we're in the dream.
Yeah.
Okay, so happy with number 6?
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. Okay.
Number 7. Let's just copy and paste this.
A little while, and you will see me, for I am not hidden because you are hiding. I will awaken you as surely as I awakened myself, for I awoke for you. In my resurrection is your release. Our mission is to escape from crucifixion, not from redemption. Trust in my help, for I did not walk alone, and I will walk with you as our source walked with me. Do you not know that I walked with it in peace? And does not that mean that peace goes with us on the journey?
Any thoughts on that?
It's asking me to remember all over again that this walk has already been taken. I've been there. I've just trust, be courageous and trust the peace is there.
You never walk alone. It's a nice nice thought. Yes, reminiscent of the Liverpool anthem.
Yeah.
Never walk alone. Because you're not alone. That's the truth. Even when you're on your own as a body, you're not alone. This presence is with you. And I will walk with you as our source walked with me. So you're not alone. You have a master in Yeshua guiding you through this journey. And he's doing it day by day with these lessons, with these words, with the the meditations, everything that's been inspired. I've been inspired to do. It's come from that source. That's where it has come from. So it's to create something that's really going to help you on your journey. So you're never alone, which is a very nice, comforting thought, isn't it? So I can always remember that. Peace goes with us on the journey. Trust in my help, have faith. So when you get tested and when the challenges and the trials and the temptations come, remember, yes, this is always with me. I'm not alone. And that gives you the courage and the faith to continue on the journey and say, I'm going to go through this, and I'm not alone, and it's a done deal. He's saying it's a done deal. This will happen. It just needs to play out in your life. That's your life's journey. So this done deal plays out, and it's almost like you're reviewing. He says at some point you're mentally reviewing what has already happened, which is an interesting idea. It's like, okay, you decided before you came into this life that you were going to do this work. You did. It was a decision. And it's played out on the level of form. Okay, well, you forgot, and you went through many years of difficulty and darkness, and then it's like now you're coming into full awakening, and that was all part of the script. That was all necessary. It was a done deal before you came, but you had to play it out. So think of it as it's quite useful to use a movie analogy. The movie's already made. You go to watch a movie, the movie's already there, isn't it? It's in the projector. It's just waiting to be shown to you frame by frame, because that's the only way you can understand and learn from the movie. But the movie is already made.
Yeah, that's
That's that idea. Your movie's already made. It's a done deal. You are already, your whole life, your script has already been written, and the Holy Spirit's written it, and it's already complete. You have attained full enlightenment. You have awoken, but you're in the process of now watching the movie, and seeing how the movie plays out, and you're learning lessons in the movie, even though the lessons have already been learned from the perspective of the end of the movie. But you've got to experience the movie to get there. So that's the paradox of it. Although the movie's already been made, you have to go through the movie and experience it and learn your lessons to then, okay, now you've played out the journey and you're there. And that's what we're dealing with here. On two levels. On one level, it's a done deal, but on another, you have to allow the movie to play out, and you have to learn your lessons, and you have to be willing to allow this. So it's a paradox of it's a done deal, but I still need to choose moment by moment. I need to choose the light, because that then brings the done deal into its accomplishment in my awareness.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Happy with number 7?
Yeah.
Did you do a summary of number 7? So it's just a very reassuring. I'm with you. I've got your back, brother. I'm with you.
That's right. It is like that, and just because you're in fear, I'm not hiding. I will awaken you. He said, "Don't worry too much. Your release is at hand." And trust, and we'll walk together as I was walked with, and that means that peace goes with us. So let's go.
What are you worried about? It's all fun,
Even though that paragraph was, it's all fine.
Yeah, it's all fine. Don't worry. Don't worry. Be happy.
Yes.
Yes. Don't worry. Be happy. Jesus or Yeshua, the Holy Spirit, however you want to frame it, has got it covered, and your journey's just it's all perfect. It's all unfolding as it should, and whatever the tests and challenges are on the journey, you'll just you'll just smoothly move through them in peace, because you have this power with you.
Okay.
The ultimate guidance system, ultimate GPS is guiding you. So no need to worry.
Never a better.
Can't get lost.
Okay.
Can't get lost. All right. So moving on to number 8.
There is no fear in perfect love. We will but be making perfect to you what is already perfect in you. You do not need to fear the unknown, but the known. You will not fail in your mission, because I did not fail in mine. Give me but a little trust in the name of the complete trust I have in you, and we will easily accomplish the goal of perfection together. It's gorgeous, isn't it? For perfection is and cannot be denied. To deny the denial of perfection is not so difficult as to deny truth. And what we can accomplish together will be believed when you see it as accomplished. So I like the bit that says, you do not fear the unknown, but the known, the apparent known. Yeah, the form, I suppose. What's apparently appearing in form?
Yeah, it was reminiscent of the hero's journey, isn't it? Let's have a look at that diagram again. Hero's journey. I'm going to include it in my so there we go. Hero's journey. In the next version of the course manual, I'll include it, I think. And actually, I thought we'll discuss this tomorrow, but quite a nice idea for like an intro talk, is to talk about this, isn't it? It's quite a nice kind of lead into it, because a lot of people don't understand it,
Yeah.
or might have heard of it, but don't really understand it, and relate this to this whole spiritual path, and relate it to bringing the Course in Miracles. I think could be really
I
quite
was
interesting.
about this
Inspiring.
with teenage daughters, and they were taught about the hero's journey in their media studies at high school.
Okay, yeah, because
Yeah,
it's
and how it
it's a theme of
shows up
it's how
in
the
the
movies
movie.
are
Yeah.
scripted, yeah.
Yeah.
From that perspective, but maybe not taught about it from the perspective, well, it's your own hero's journey, you know, you're the hero of your own life. So this known world he's talking about, actually what you fear is the known.
Mm. Yeah.
The ego's told you fear the unknown, but actually what you fear is the known world. It's
Yeah.
the world of hatred and fear and attack, and you know, the ego's world. That's actually what you fear.
But as
And you don't
Yeshua was
actually
saying,
fear
it's the
the unknown.
anticipation that's fearful.
Yeah.
And it's this call to adventure. Oh, no, I can't do that.
Yeah.
It's too scary.
Because it's the unknown, because it's scary. But he's actually saying you're not really scared of the unknown, but you're scared of the known.
Yeah.
Because this is the world of fear and darkness and attack, and it's a world that's not comfortable, that you're not happy with, and you actually fear it a lot. But the ego is telling you, no, stay here, stay bound in the known, because this is going to keep you safe. And actually, this unknown is very unsafe, so don't go there. There be dragons.
Yeah.
When in fact it's completely the opposite. Here are the dragons in your own mind, the nightmares and the monsters that he talked about. And here lies pure formless awareness, perfect peace, love, joy. It's just that you've got to go and you've got to face your dragons. You've got to face the monsters to get there.
Yeah.
It's not a smooth path of, oh yes, I just there we go. I drop into pure formless awareness, and that's it. It's like the challenges and the temptations and the trials come along, and that's what we're scared of, because we're scared of ourselves. We've got to face our own ego and overcome it. And we're actually scared of ourselves. That's the ridiculous thing. How can you be scared of yourself? It's your own belief. But this is the insanity of the ego. So you got to face your own nightmares and just bring them into awareness and say, this just really isn't true. And however that nightmare shows up, the challenges and temptations and the trials on the external level are just a projection of my own belief in this thought system that's now showing itself and trying to tell me that this is true. And as the hero, I must say no. I'm not going to listen to this. I'm going to listen instead to Yeshua and the Holy Spirit, and allow them to guide me. So whatever the challenges and temptations and trials, I understand this is all just my awakening. It's all just coming in to show me my own false beliefs and help me to undo those. Uncover them first and then undo them. Go into the abyss, which is, he even talks about the resurrection here. It's the collapse of the ego's thought system. Okay, that whole belief system's got to go. So there's a death and a rebirth. I'm resurrected in my mind. I'm transformed into oneness, and I then understand what atonement really means, at-one-ment really means, and I return from this journey, bringing gifts back into the world. So then I can become the miracle worker and the light of the world, and not allow my brothers to forget. And so it's all in the hero's journey. It's just another framework of it. But he's talking about it quite specifically in this idea we go on a journey together. That there's this journey to be taken, and I will go with you. I'll be your guide. So Jesus and the Holy Spirit are the mentor and the helper, and those might show up in form as people on your journey, people who come in and or book the Course in Miracles as a mentor. It's a guide. It's a helper, and these things come to help you on your journey when you're ready. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. So look at your journey over the last 3 months. It really is this, isn't it? It was like, okay, from the known, you're going to go into the unknown. You got the call to adventure in the form of an email. So that was John as showing up, guided by the Holy Spirit, showing up in form as your helper, sending an email, inviting you in. Then you showed up, you did a couple of sessions. You said, yes, I'm in. So your decision was to say, yes, I'm going to leave the known world. I'm going to go into this unknown. You've had mentors and helpers along the way, and it will continue. Like whatever you have to face, you can, it's fine, because the guidance and the help is always going to be there. And ultimately, I'm going to go through this. I'm going to collapse the entire ego, and I will be reborn and resurrected in the true self, and I will be only that self. And that's where I'm going, and I'm not scared of that. In fact, this is amazing. It can feel very scary to the ego, but the rebirth, the transformation into the light, is what we all want.
Yeah.
So why am I scared of my own light? So what Jesus is saying. Okay, so have we read number 8?
We have. Yep.
Going to give a little summary of that.
Oh, it's recognizing me as the perfection in me. It's already here. The perfection is here. I feared what was known to me. Yeah, it became like a cage in my life.
The known world in the ego is the world of the denial of perfection. So we've come to know that. We've taught ourselves that this is truth, this is reality. Yeah. We've come to know that as now the known world, and our perfection has become unknown. And so this is why the hero's journey, we have to move out of the known world of fear and all the limitations of the ego. Yeah. And he says to deny the denial of perfection is not so difficult as to deny truth. So this is the methodology. We must deny the denial of perfection. If we go back to here, if we've denied perfection and invented this whole thought system of separation, we must deny that denial in order to return our minds to oneness. And to do that is not so difficult as to deny the truth. It's enormously difficult to keep denying the truth. Creates enormous
struggle. It's a real struggle. And he's saying,
huge struggle.
Trust in me because I have trusted in you. It's already in place.
And because this is the will of God, the ultimate intentional will of oneness is that every single mind will return to it. That's the grand program of the universe. That's where this is all moving. And I either agree with that and I buy into it and I accept my part in that one-ment, or I resist it. If I resist it, I'm resisting the ultimate flow and destination of everything. Well, that's a very hard path to walk. You are resisting what is God's will, what is the ultimate will of the creator, the source. That's going to create a lot of stress and strain for you, because it's like you're trying to swim upstream. The stream is, you're in a stream and you're the fish, and you're trying to swim upstream instead of going, okay, well, I'll go downstream to the ocean and just flow with this. Yeah. It's a very difficult, hard path, which will ultimately lead you nowhere. It's just resistance. You're just stuck in that resistance, and we've been doing it for so many years and so many lifetimes. You say, okay, well, give it up already. Just this is the program. The program of this universe. The only purpose of it is for you to atone, for you to become at one again with your source, and that is the ultimate purpose of everything. So, are you going to accept that, or are you going to resist it? Those are your choices, and in every moment you make that choice. It's so simple, such a simple teaching, but it does require a lot of vigilance, because there seems to be another program going on. The ego has got its own script, telling the program is for you to be a helpless, enervated little life and stay in the limitation and the lack and the loneliness and the suffering and the death of that, and stay rooted in your belief in that, and not listen to this voice of at one that's freeing you. And you can't listen to both voices. You can't go down the ladder and go up the ladder at the same time. It's not possible. It's going to be one or the other. And every moment you're deciding, am I going up or am I going down here?
Snakes and ladders.
Yeah. Okay. So happy with happy with 8? Yeah. Did you do a little summary of it? I think we kind of covered that.
I tried to. So start and then you take over and then we go around in a circle. I tried to.
Okay, I'll give you the perfection is.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll give you the floor.
and be reassured I will not fail, because Yeshua did not fail in his. There's perfect trust in me, complete trust in me, and we will easily accomplish the goal of perfection. And he's saying, stop denying the truth, because it's incredibly hard work.
Much easier to deny the denial. So you have to deny the ego, which can seem hard sometimes, but it's easier than denying the truth.
Yeah.
So it's saying, well, choose your difficulty. You know, are you gonna go into endless difficulty trying to deny the truth, or you're gonna have temporary difficulty in denying the ego?
Right.
It is only temporary. It's not gonna last. It does seem to be difficult when you start, but it's a lot more difficult to deny the truth continuously.
Let's crack on. Yeah. 9 and 10.
2 more.
Uh-huh.
2 more. Yeah. I've got to go in about 25 minutes. So
well, let's make it in 20, so we can make it around, finish at half hour, and that would enable me to do something else I need to. Okay, you who have tried to banish love have not succeeded, but you who choose to banish fear must succeed. The Lord is with you. Hallelujah. I didn't do that, but you know it. Yes. The
Lord is with you. He doesn't actually use Lord very often.
No, that's why I was surprised when I read it and went into a kind of
Lord is with you, but you know it not. The
pure form of perfect love.
The truth is with you. The truth is with you.
Okay.
I like that.
Yep. But you know it not. Yet your Redeemer liveth and has abideth in you in the peace out of which he was created. Blimey.
Yeah. Suddenly goes into this Middle English.
Wow.
I'm not quite sure why. Maybe because Lord liveth.
Yeah.
I don't know. But we'll translate it, shall we? So yet your Redeemer. You want to change that?
Your Savior. Yes, definitely. Your Awakener. Is it something about salvation?
Yeah, Redeemer, Awakener, it's all the same. Your Awakener liveth. Your Awakener is
alive and well. No.
Your Awakener is present, maybe.
Better.
That's nice. Yeah. Liveth. Your Awakener is present.
Yes.
And abideth in you. Okay, we need to change that. And abides in you. Maybe? Just change it to abides.
Yes.
Or, I know, and lives in you. That's nice. How about that?
I think you read my mind.
Yeah. Awaken is present. Well, there's only one mind, really, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
You just start to see that. The awaken is present and lives in you. I like that.
In the peace out of which it was created.
So he's talking here about the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
Remembrance of oneness.
Would you not exchange this awareness for the awareness of fear?
Yeah.
When we have overcome fear, not by hiding it, not by minimizing it, not by denying its full import in any way, this is what you will really see. Right.
We're going to change these M dashes as well. I'm not sure why they do this, but it's like this. It's an American thing. It's called an M dash.
Oh.
And they don't have a space. They have a big dash, and then like no, I don't know, like it's like weird. Why would you punctuate like that? So just have a dash. It looks a whole lot better.
Really perceive?
Yeah. This is by minimizing, not by denying its full import in any way. This is what we will really perceive.
You cannot lay aside the obstacles to real vision without looking upon them, for to lay aside means to judge against.
Yeah.
If you will look, the remembrance of oneness will judge.
Maybe should we change lay aside to let go of? What do you think? Think that's more direct?
Yeah, I do actually. Yeah.
because that's really what he means.
Yeah, if you cannot let go the obstacles to real vision without looking upon them, you cannot let go of the obstacles to real vision without looking upon them, for to let go means to judge against.
Yeah. You have to judge against what you're letting go of.
And this is the correct judgment. I've discerned and judged against.
Yeah. This is a judgment of the Holy Spirit.
Real vision. Mm-hmm. If you will look, why has it got a double underline?
It's grammar. It's Microsoft's.
Doesn't like it. Bill Gates
doesn't
like that.
No, Bill Gates doesn't like that. But let's leave Bill Gates. I can try left clicking for writing suggestions. Yeah. So sometimes you will look. If you look, so what it tries to do is shorten things. If you will look, so it says if you look, the Holy Spirit will judge.
Okay,
so
but we could shorten the option to ignore.
You will, if you will perceive truly, the Holy Spirit will judge, and He will judge truly. If you will look, no, I think let's keep look, because that's how else do you say it? If you will look at this, if you will, or instead of look, you could say bring. If you will bring everything into true awareness. No, let's just keep look, I think.
Okay. The remembrance of
complicate things.
If you will look, the remembrance of oneness will judge, and it will judge truly. I like the use of the word judge, because it knocks me out of the sort of projective way in which I've used that word. It's judgment, but this is correct ascertainment. This is correct perception. Yeah.
So again, he uses judgment in a couple of senses, in different ways in the course.
Right.
There's the correct judgment of the Holy Spirit, and then there's judgment of the ego, which is the condemnation. That's really the difference. The ego makes it real and condemns. The Holy Spirit simply says, no, it's not true.
Yeah.
With no condemnation. I don't need to condemn you. I just need to see that it's not true. That belief is not true, and so I'm willing to let it go. Right. And that's a very different way of using your mind, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is.
And so the words they're not the same, although he uses the same English word to describe, but it's a very different thing. So we could call judgment discernment instead. I need to discern truth between truth and illusion, and the ego's judgment is condemnation. It's a condemning. It's like, yeah, that's happened, that's real, and you guilty for it. That's the ego's judgment, which I have defined actually in the terms. Just have a quick look at that. ACI terms. So let's just have a look. Judgment. So there we go. You want to read that? That'll clarify it. Just judgment used in two ways.
Judgment used in two ways: right-minded judgment or discernment through the Holy Spirit, i.e. the idea of oneness brought into any situation to let go of the negative thoughts and emotions that constitute the ego. Wrong-minded judgment is condemnatory in nature and makes the other person wrong, and so supports the belief that you are a separate self, and therefore is always an attack on the one self, i.e. the Christ, who share, which is why to judge another through the ego is to judge and condemn yourself. Good.
So that kind of explains it quite well. I think wrong-minded judgment is condemnatory in nature. So that's the difference. If you in the Holy Spirit, it's just an evaluation. It's like, yeah, that's true and that's not. Very simple. I don't condemn anyone because they believe in untruth. The ego is always like, oh, that's very real, and you feel that emotional charge of like, no, you actually, I want to project guilt, I want to condemn, and it's a very different experience. Described with the same words in different parts of the course. Okay, And the last sentence.
Yet it cannot shine away what you keep hidden, for you have not offered it to remembrance of oneness, and it cannot take it from you. It cannot shine away what you keep hidden.
Yeah, do you want to translate that or keep it?
It cannot bring to awareness what you keep hidden, for you have not. Again, it's reminded I have to take the step first, because if I say I know everything's fine, don't worry, then I can't be helped.
Maybe if you say, how about that?
That's good.
It cannot help you let go of what you keep hidden.
I like
For you
that.
have not offered it to remembrance of oneness. For you have not
You've not
brought it. And we brought it to the awareness of, oneness. How about that?
yeah,
Does that work?
yeah, it does. Yet it cannot help you let go of what you keep hidden, for you have not brought it to the awareness of oneness, and it cannot take it from you. Yeah, it's
so
like,
we need to bring it up into conscious awareness, don't we?
Yeah.
And say, okay, I'm willing to bring this up, look at it, and now, okay, remember oneness, remember that awareness, remember the light, and you bring that situation and the light together, and that awareness together, and then there's a transformation that happens, isn't there? It has to, in your mind, and that's then the miracle of, okay, yeah, there's a shift in my perception by bringing these two together. The awareness of oneness must dissipate the limited awareness.
I'm aware we've got a really limited time, so do you want me to summarize that briefly?
Yeah, just a minute, and then we'll go on to number 10.
I haven't succeeded in banishing love because the truth is, I realize that the truth is always here, is always present, lives with me. If you look, remember it's the one. If you keep, I have to allow myself. I have to let go of what I've kept hidden in order to be helped. This is what he's saying. It's not when. It's not if. It's when. I choose to say I'm here. I need the help, and the help is always here.
Yeah, and you must bring it. I think the key point at the end there.
Yes, I must
bring it to that awareness.
Yeah.
Bring your problems into conscious awareness, because then you bring them into the light, and then there's a transformation that happens. But if you keep them hidden, then it cannot help you. So you keep them separated and dissociated in your mind. So, okay, well, there's a distant light, but actually my problems are my problems, and I'm immersed in the problem, and I don't bring them together.
Yeah, that idea always scared me. When I wasn't really diving into the course, I was thinking, God, I'm hiding myself here. I need to bring this all up to the awareness of oneness. Okay.
And the way you do that is by practicing, by practicing the lessons and reading the text like this. That's what you're doing. It's a process of doing it, which is why you spend the time, because it's like, okay, well, you're doing this and you're bringing it all into awareness as you do it. Okay, number 10.
We are therefore embarking on an organized, well-structured and carefully planned program aimed at learning how to offer to the remembrance of oneness everything you do not want.
Yeah, it's just describing his course here.
Yeah, really.
That's what it is. I must actually remember that, because John's asked me before, like, well, how do you summarize? How would you summarize the course?
Well,
Yeah.
maybe this
Well,
is
there we
just
go.
like this paragraph should go first and foremost, like, you know, when we introduce the retreat, when you're
Yeah.
introducing your AOLG,
Yeah.
we're embarking on an organized, well-structured, carefully planned program.
Aimed at learning how to offer to the remembrance of oneness everything you do not want.
Everything you do, it's perfect. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
There's no point
Yeah.
in gilding the lily. This is what Yeshua has said.
Yeah, it's a nice one. I must copy and paste it
Yeah.
into something and use it for sure.
It knows what to do with it. You do not understand how to use what remembrance of oneness knows, or what it knows, if we want another it. Whatever is given it that is not of pure formless awareness is gone. It is not of perfect love is better.
Yeah.
Yet you must look at it yourself in perfect willingness, for otherwise its knowledge remains useless to you. Well, again, he's saying but you have to ask. You have to ask for help. Look at yourself.
So we make knowledge with a capital. I think we decided to do that.
Yeah, good.
So it's not going to help you very much unless you're willing, which is, it kind of explains why the truth has always been there, but for so many people it just really doesn't help them. It doesn't make any difference, because they're not aware of it, and they're not willing to allow it to come into their minds and, you know, do the miracles. It requires a lot of well, it starts with a little willingness, but it requires a lot of willingness to do this, and that's what he's asking us to do.
Sustained willingness.
Yeah, sustained. You know, look, if you think of how you learn and master anything in this world, I mean, you're a painter, an artist. I mean, you spent hours and hours and hours mastering your craft, haven't you? You've practiced, you've learned different techniques, you've practiced it in the studio, and so you get good at it. So why do we think that mastering, you know, our true awareness, that learning who we truly are, is going to be easier? That it should just be like, oh, you know, there we go. This is the ultimate. It's the ultimate accomplishment to understand, know who you really are, and let go of the ego. And so, you know, it's the same principle. Mind training. You know, a lot of I think, you know, my background. If you have a background in some kind of discipline, it's really helpful. You know, I started off with sport, and it was like very, you know, you're only going to get good if you train. It's like you got to put in the hours. So there's an understanding that this kind of, you know, this training is required to get to a high level. So why is it any different with spiritual growth? It isn't any different. It's the same. So and that's really what he's saying here. It's an organized, well-structured, carefully planned program for you. You just have to be willing to follow it and do the work. And, you know, I'm your guide, I'm your trainer. Follow it, and you know, it's a done deal. You have to succeed, because the program is designed for you to succeed. Which is really encouraging. It's like you've got a program designed by a master teacher who's got out of the matrix. He's given you the program. He's saying, look, here it is. Just follow it. Follow my guidance, and you'll get out. It's a done deal. It's going to happen. Just follow my guidance. Follow the program as best you can. So yeah, wow. We were very fortunate to have it in our lifetime.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Finish off.
It's useless to you. Surely it will not fail to help you, since help is its only purpose. Do you not have greater reason for fearing the world as you perceive it than for looking at the cause of fear and letting it go forever? Yeah, what appears in form in this world is far more scary than actually looking at the cause, the cause of it and letting it go. Here's your chance to really step out of the nightmare. So we're back to the little kid under the blanket,
Yeah.
the nightmare, not willing to take the blanket off and saying, no, it's warm under here. I'm not going anywhere.
And this plays really nicely into the hero's journey. You know, the known, the unknown. So a lovely paragraph. I'll definitely use it if we do an intro to it. Quote it and say, okay, so let's unpack it. And you could do a whole talk just on this paragraph.
Yeah.
Explaining it, you know, because that's really what you want to get people into. It's like, you know, are you willing to go on this journey? Does this make sense to you? That yes, you know, there's a journey, there's a call, I feel it, this makes sense. Okay, it's an organized, well-structured, carefully planned program, which, you know, is exactly what the Art of Letting Go is as well. It's organized, carefully structured, well-planned, along the same lines as the course. Because it's like, well, yeah, you have to follow the methodology. You know, Jesus is not a random teacher. He's like very organized, careful, well-structured, disciplined program. So, you know, anything that's going to teach his course must be the same, really, in the same methodology, which is quite nice. So it's not hey chihuahua. You know, I think too often in spirituality it can be all over the place. People are like, I've met people and there's no discipline. They just like they're so supposedly spiritual, but their minds are all over the place, and anything goes. They're like, yeah, well, spirituality means I can do whatever I want. No, not really. You know, it's actually it's a very disciplined, a disciplined approach is going to get you there much faster than like random, okay, or whatever. You know, I'm randomly seeking, or I do this and I do this, and there's no structure to it. So I think you know, for our retreat, it's saying to people, okay, everyone's done stuff. You've played around, you've looked at various paths, you've explored, but you know, here we've got an organized, well-structured, carefully planned program based on the teachings of probably the greatest spiritual master who's ever lived. You know, are you up for it or not? Do you want to be part of it or not?
Can I just answer my daughter 1 minute?
Yeah, no problem. And I think we're pretty much done. So, all good.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to just give a little summary of that, and then we're done?
Yeah. Following, this is a program that offers to take away everything you don't want. Remember, it's the oneness knows what to do with it, and you don't. But
and be willing. He's just saying, be willing.
Be willing to step in, and otherwise it's useless. Otherwise, you can't be helped. So yeah,
it's like the knowledge is all there, but you've got to operate it.
Yeah,
and it's the same in life. You know, the whatever knowledge you want to learn, you want to do a course or something, it's all there.
Yeah.
But it's only gonna be useful to you if you learn it, if you put in the effort, to learn it. So it's the same. Okay. So we normally do a little personalized executive summary. Can you do this in a minute or two? What's that asking too much? Summarize the whole thing. What's he saying here?
He's saying, for me, he's saying, be courageous. Be courageous. Be willing to look at yourself. Honestly, he's saying, honestly, the fear in this world is much. Do you not want to let it all go?
Yeah.
Stop this unequal struggle.
Yeah.
Because the answer is all here. It always has been here. It's yours. It always has been yours. So step into it with me, because I know the way, and I'll be with you the whole way.
Lovely. Do you want to just dictate that to me?
Just did. Your speed typing is not up to much.
No, sorry, I'm not. Key message of the section is that. Can you say it again?
Courage is about courage.
Yeah. Okay. That I need to. It's personalized. I need to
be courageous.
Yeah. To be
to show
Courageous.
and sustain my willingness to
But step out of the known.
yes,
Step out of the known world of the ego or belief in separation, which is actually what I fear, into the unknown world that I have denied, but which awaits only my acceptance and has, just typing very quickly, already been accomplished for me, something like that.
yeah. There's something else though against the about the ease and the comfort and the grace of doing that being guided and led the way actually.
Okay, this will lead me on a easy path back to the guidance of Yeshua and the something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll play with it.
Yeah.
And I'll send this to you when I've finished it. I'll finish it tonight. Okay, well done, Iona.
Whew.
We got it done. Yeah, I've got yoga in 25 minutes. I got to rush off.
Have a wonderful time.
Yeah, it's gonna be hour and a half in a hot room. Great.
Nice.
It's fantastic. It's hot yoga. It used to be called Bikram yoga. So amazing.
Yeah, I know. I've done it. So you'll have some mighty hot companions if that's not inappropriate. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Have a nice evening, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah. Cheers. Thanks.
Okay. Namaste. Cheers,
Namaste.
Kenneth. Bye for now. Okay.